All right, today we're discussing forgiveness as self-leadership. So, forgiveness can feel like one of the hardest things that we're ever asked to do, especially when someone has truly hurt you, or um, when you just can't get over yourself. You're just so used to this blame judgment loop that you get into with yourself. Um, it's so real and so true, and we all are victims to it and have experience with it. When there's disappointment or betrayal or misunderstanding or really deep emotional pain, we often believe that forgiveness is about someone else and that we refuse to grant it to them because think of what they did and think of what they should have done. Think of what they owe us. But the deeper truth is that all forgiveness is self forgiveness. All forgiveness is self forgiveness. And I believe that all healing is actually about applying loving to the parts that hurt. So, all healing is about applying loving to the parts that hurt. And if that's the case, then forgiveness is the number one tool to do that work. So, because the experience doesn't live out there. The experience of judgment, the experience of anger, the experience of pain, the experience of judgment, all the feelings and constrictions and upset that the judgment causes, it doesn't live outside of you. It lives in you. It lives in your body. It lives in your nervous system, and it lives in your thoughts. And it's also in your identity. And there's such a huge cost to holding on. The Buddha teaches that holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I like to think of it as like a hot coal, this judgment of hot coal that you're just so festering and upset about. You're wanting and waiting to throw it at someone else. But in the meantime, you're the one being burned. You're the one getting hurt. So self-forgiveness is not about releasing them or releasing negative habits that you might have. Self-forgiveness is about releasing how you carry it and how you meet it. So we want to use self-forgiveness as a tool to move into freedom because there's such liberation and freedom on the other side of forgiveness, but you can't get there unless you move through it. When you don't forgive, there's a part of you that stays bound. You're stuck and tied to the moment, to the story, to the identity of being hurt. And forgiveness is the moment that you choose. I am no longer available to this version of myself. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and then discover that you're actually the prisoner that you just liberated. So while forgiveness and the process of forgiveness, which I'm going to guide us through, feels like a softness and an opening and an expansion, forgiveness is not a weakness. Mahatma Gandhi says that the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. Because what it takes strength to feel what is real, to stay present with discomfort, and to choose love over pain. So it's not about forgiving others because they deserve forgiveness. It's about forgiving because you deserve peace. You deserve love. You deserve expansiveness. And in that way, forgiveness is an energetic reset. You can heal the inner divide created by your own judgment. You can regulate emotional overwhelm. You can release shame and resentment and reconnect with your inherent truth and your inherent worth. So the core truth of you is that you're not your behavior. You're not what happened in the past. You are the awareness behind it. And forgiveness is the moment that you choose to expand into that awareness. And in choosing the awareness of it, you return to love, you return to truth, and you return to yourself. And you don't have to forgive. You're never forced to forgive. But I'm going to guide you through an exercise, and I just encourage you to try it, to open to serenity and grace, to just listen intuitively to see what comes up and what is calling for your attention. And then we're going to use the tools of this meditation to support yourself to see rightly, if you choose. And also, forgiveness is a process. So if you felt like you just made one step, but it's not completely over, that's fine too. You're in the process. So go ahead and just center down. I want you to take a deep breath in through the root of your feet. Breathe all the way in from the core of the earth up into your feet, your legs, your back. Breathe it all the way in, your belly, your chest, your throat. And then release your breath up and out into the crown of your head, up into the infinitude of the presence. And now take that same breath from above and breathe that light source back into your body, your shoulders, your neck, your heart. And then breathe out, pushing down through the core of your belly, your legs, your back, your feet, and down back into Mother Earth. That central channel breathing, if you can continue visualizing yourself doing that central channel breathing, that's a beautiful way to stabilize enlightenment, to stabilize ahas, to stabilize awakenings, is to breathe it up through the body and feel it moving all the way through, up and out, and then from the top all the way down. Just allow your body to soften, your breath to soften, leave everything behind. Be in this present moment, just open into this present moment. So many possibilities, so many miraculous possibilities right here in this now moment when you bring your awareness to the now. So much healing, so much awakening, so much letting go right here, right in the now. You can just set the intention to be open to that. Just set the intention to awaken more and more and more to that. Softly, gently, easily, gracefully. And now, if you're willing, we've created a really sacred space. And perhaps there's a person that you want to bring to mind that you are judging or that has hurt you in some way. Or perhaps it's a judgment you've had of yourself. And you know it's a judgment of yourself because your body gets tight. Or it doesn't feel good. That's how judgments feel. They don't feel good. Maybe it's a core judgment. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Who am I to think that I could? ... Just listen intuitively and call forth whatever it is that shows up. Whatever it is that shows up is exactly what's meant to show up right now. You don't have to go digging and excavating. If nothing shows up, that's okay too. You can just rest and follow along in this process of forgiveness and healing. It's still a beautiful healing tone, a beautiful vibration of peace and love. So regardless of if you have a specific event or a specific judgment, you can still go through this process and just be open. Just be open to whatever pops up. So if someone has hurt you or someone has disappointed you, or a version of yourself that you're still holding on in judgment, let that just arise gently in your consciousness. Look at it like you're looking at a painting outside of you. Just witness it. Just witness it. It might be a painting in a gallery that is violent and dark with thick, rash brush strokes of a scene that you really have no desire witnessing. But witness it like a painting. It's not you. You're watching it. You're beholding it. You're bearing witness. This witnessing, this acknowledging, this awareness is such a critical, beautiful step. It's one of the most important first steps of self-forgiveness. To know what it is that's hurting. To acknowledge it. To see what you're feeling without story, without justification. Perhaps you feel hurt. Perhaps you feel unseen, unvalidated. Perhaps you feel disappointed in yourself or disappointed in somebody else. Perhaps you feel ashamed. Witness those feelings as a part of that painting. Just allow them to be in that emotional cloud, encompassed in that frame. And with that same gentle awareness, just notice the spaciousness around you. The judgment and the story exists in the frame of the gallery, but the gallery room is wide and spacious and bright and luminous. And we could look away to so much other art and so many other stories. But right now, we're bringing our gentle awareness to this moment with an intention to heal, to release, to make space, to allow magic to happen. Just remember that you're not your emotions, and you are definitely not what happened to you. You are the awareness witnessing it. You are the one who is standing in the gallery, free, unhindered, safe, grounded, whole, and you're witnessing the story. Let any feelings come up and just witness them without judgment. Hold that big, spacious gallery of consciousness. Now bring your awareness to maybe where you've been holding this in your body. We're going to give it back to the story. We're going to release. So maybe there's tension in your body, or there's an emotion somewhere in your body. Hot, tight, constricted, sad, broken. And just recognize how that emotion is holding on to the hot coal of your story. It's burning a hole in your soul. And while we can let any feelings come up, anything that needs to be released can easily and gracefully be released. But we're going to be extending that hot coal out and putting it back into the story and letting it go. And before you do that, you really have to ask yourself, am I willing to release this? Not because they deserve it. Not because what they did was okay. Not because what you did was right. Not because the way you betrayed yourself was okay. But are you willing to release this because you deserve peace? You deserve an expanded awareness. And in the space of an expanded awareness, there actually is no other. We are all one. We are all interconnected. In the space of expanded awareness, there is only love. Forgiveness doesn't even have to exist here because it doesn't apply. There's only love. But forgiveness is the bridge that gets you from the dualistic, right, wrong, good, bad thinking into this expanded feeling tone. The place where there is only one love, one good, one universal benevolence. And you are it, and it is you. This is self-leadership. This is self-leadership. If you can guide and lead yourself into this place through witness consciousness, through awareness, through self-forgiveness, this is true self-leadership. Choosing the story of truth and love over the story of pain and regret and judgment. It's just a choice. It's like choosing which art piece you want to stand in front of. So now we're just gonna imagine the judgment in front of you, the person in front of you. Maybe if it's you, the version of you in front of you. Imagine that person in front of you. And say to yourself, I release you. I release this story. I forgive myself for judging you as. And complete that sentence. I forgive myself for judging you as. It's so powerful because see how that actually has power in the sentence? You are the one that can forgive yourself for even having the judgment in the first place. I forgive myself for judging you as. See what comes up for you. Say it over and over. See what else comes up for you. I forgive myself for judging you as. I forgive myself for buying into the limiting belief that you ... I forgive myself for judging you as. And when you feel complete, say to that person in front of you, I release you. I release this story. I release the hold that this ever had on me. And again, releasing them is not condoning. It's freeing yourself. It's liberating yourself. It's laying down the hot coal. So now turn inward. Maybe place your hand on your heart and just notice if any part of you is still holding any judgment towards yourself. And gently say, I forgive myself for judging myself as. I forgive myself for judging myself as. I forgive myself for judging myself as. Maybe this is really hard for you, and that's okay. Maybe it brings up a lot of emotions, and that's okay. Maybe it feels liberating and freeing. That's beautiful too. But you're taking the first step and you're coming home to yourself and you're beginning the process of reframing what this experience and judgment means to you. You're being conscious of it. You're recognizing what kind of power it's had over you, and you're reclaiming some of that power. When you forgive yourself for judging yourself, you reclaim the power of who you actually choose to be, and the highest version of yourself can start to step forward. The loving version, the generous version, the luminous version. We don't create what we want by punishing ourselves. Instead, we choose compassion to love ourselves through it and to be with ourselves in gentleness, in softness, in acceptance. You may not be every version of the best part of you in how you've acted, but the highest, most beautiful version of you exists right here, right now. And she wants to birth forth. And when you forgive, you're cutting the ties and allowing her to rise. The stories keep us small. The judgments keep us fearful and constricted and limited. We want to let go of any stories about ourselves or others that have kept our hearts and our bodies constricted. And through self-forgiveness, we get the gift of openness, of expansiveness, the gift of love for yourself and for others. Forgiving others and forgiving yourself is laying down the tension of judgment so that your heart can more fully open to life. How can you allow horrible things to happen and still keep your heart open? It's possible. It's what your highest self wants for you. Forgiveness is a beautiful way to practice the presence and practice that truth. Gratitude is another fabulous tool, but forgiveness is really necessary to lay it down. You're no longer choosing to carry it anymore. Forgiveness allows you to release toxic judgments and pain from your consciousness, your mind, your body chemistry. This is healing. Remember, when you judge someone or judge yourself, you're not hurting them. You're only hurting yourself. Your body chemistry changes. Your mind is filled with low vibration thoughts, and your consciousness drops. When you move into forgiveness, you start to step into the awareness behind the judgment, behind the event, behind the story. And in this space, you are an emanation of love, purity, luminosity, peace, presence, joy. In this space, you get to return to the love and the truth of who you truly are. Nobody gets to tell you who you are. But if you hold on to judgments about what someone did to you, they are in fact controlling who you are. We take that back now. We cut the ties, the judgments that linked us to them. We cut those cords. We set them free, but we set ourselves free. And one of the things that I use when I'm practicing self-forgiveness and then I'm confronted with the person or the situation that caused the judgment and the pain in the first place, I'll repeat a mantra when I'm in the presence of them, just silently under my breath. I'll just say, I love you. God bless you. Peace be still. I love you. God bless you. Peace be still. I love you. God bless you. Peace be still. Go ahead and take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the weight of it all drop. It might feel like a giant ball and chain. It might feel like molasses running down your body. Just let the weight and the energy just drop and melt off of you. Let your body soften. You're choosing to energetically reset your system through the power and the practice of self-forgiveness. You may feel a sense of freedom, spaciousness, or you may feel anger, resentment, upset, rage. Whatever is present for you is just fine. It's exactly the part of the process where you are supposed to be right here, right now. You were bold enough to show up and dive deep into healing and resetting your energy, choosing to forgive. Takes time. You might be in the stages of grief, despair, anger, resentment. It's all okay. It's all okay. Just because we did a 20-minute forgiveness exercise doesn't mean that everything clears up right here, right now, all at once. But what it does do is it creates a space where your body and your heart knows you're listening, and it knows your intention, and it's creating safety enough to know that you can start to let this go, that your self-righteous judgment of them is an identity that you are willing to surrender, because you are safe enough to know that you choose freedom. You choose a higher power. You choose to return to love. You choose peace. Forgiveness is one of those tools that is really exquisite to practice at the end of every day. If you have a deep wound that came up for you here today, you might want to commit for the next 5 days to just spend 10 minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes a day, just going through this process and forgiving yourself over and over, and forgiving them, and lifting and healing and cleansing. And part of that might look like free-form writing, just getting all the junk out, the rage, the resentment, the upset, all of that is welcome. But showing up so that your consciousness knows it has a space to heal is so powerful. When your consciousness and your body and your nervous system feel safe in the presence of you, it will start to let go of the things that are not like it, that are not high vibrations. It will start to gently release and cleanse and allow. And then you don't have to act out your rage, your injustice, your upset. And oftentimes we don't even act it out on the person who did it. We act it out on our loved ones. We act it out on the people that we love the most, including ourselves. So diving into a self-forgiveness process, if you have something deep that really came up, maybe commit to it for the next 5 days. Just give yourself 10 minutes, 15 minutes to write, to journal, and you can literally just say, I forgive myself for judging them as ... or I forgive myself for judging myself as ... You could write that 100 times and forgive everything that comes up. It's such a beautiful practice. You could also look in the mirror and just speak it out loud. Deep wounds take time to heal. But if you consciously and intentionally show up and welcome the healing and create a space for healing, the healing happens so much more gracefully, so much more effortlessly. It's just about saying yes, saying yes. And you may not even know how to get there. Maybe the expansiveness or the liberation or the freedom that I talked about with this specific example, you just cannot even touch that place. That's okay. You don't need to know the how. You need to know the what. I want freedom. I want to be liberated. I want to live in my power, in my peace, in my love, no matter what happens. And then spirit will work through you. But you do have to make time to show up. And you're doing that today, showing up to the meditation call, coming home to yourself. Another beautiful practice that I do is in the morning, I steep in gratitude before I get out of the bed. I just wrap myself in so many warm feelings of everything I'm grateful for. And then in the evening, I lay down back in bed and I just let go. And I forgive myself for all the things that I did or didn't do, the things that I said or didn't say, or the people that I felt wronged me. It's such a beautiful way to maintain the spiritual cleansing system, right? So we practice forgiveness by bringing awareness to it. We practice forgiveness by giving the parts of ourselves that judged others or that judged ourselves love and a space to say what is needed to say. Another really important part of self-forgiveness is harvesting the good. What did this experience teach you? What is here for me? Ask yourself that with the experience that maybe came up for you. What did this experience teach me? Is there any good here that I can see? What is here for me to know? What is here for me to know? Harvesting the good might be the good of lessons that you learned going through this process. Maybe you learned patience. Maybe you learned acceptance. Maybe you released some control because you can't control everything. Maybe there's a lesson that you learned that gave you a spiritual quality, that grew a spiritual quality in you. Generosity, kindness, benevolence, allowing. Maybe the good is that you get to take care of you. You get to now, in this moment, give the part of you exactly what she needs. There is no more important relationship in your life than the one with yourself. Maybe that's what this is teaching you. It hurts so much that you have to show up for yourself. And you're learning to love yourself through it. Maybe the good might be that through the process of self-forgiveness, you're feeling the emotion, you're giving yourself space for it to come up and out. And now maybe the pain is just a little bit smaller. Maybe not a lot, but maybe just a little bit smaller. Maybe you felt a little bit of room around it for the first time. Maybe it doesn't have the same grip on you. Again, the more space you give it through this loving awareness, through this self-forgiveness practice, the more it removes its power over you. You're stepping into alignment, into a greater version of you that is untouched. Untouched by the pain. There is a part of you that is love and only love. There is a part of you that is luminosity and only luminosity. There's a part of you that is radiance and power and brilliance, that is only radiance and power and brilliance. And she is untouched by judgments. She is untouched by pain. She is untouched by the world. Maybe that's the good you got today. Maybe you touched her. Maybe you sat in the seat of her soul. Maybe you felt her and came into alignment with her, even for just a moment. Now you have a North Star. now you know where you're headed. Because throwing around judgments and going through this life without being conscious won't satisfy. It's not going to get you what you want because it's not in alignment with who you truly are. You are the golden Buddha, the radiant, solid gold Buddha. Nothing needs to be given and nothing can ever be taken away. Judgment is a layer of plaster covering up your gold. And when we sit in forgiveness, the plaster loosens and shakes free, and we shine again. We shine and radiate without having to do anything, just because that is who we truly are. Taking off the layers of plaster reveals the golden radiance of our natural birthright. So while self-righteousness feels so satisfying in the moment, our ego and our mind loves it. We're really only hurting ourselves. So imagine yourself as that pure, radiant golden Buddha. All the layers of plaster have just shaken free. You are polished and perfected, glimmering, luminous. Now imagine yourself meeting every circumstance, every situation with love, with radiance, with power. A quiet, calm, unspoken power that is the golden Buddha you. Just envision that space. That's when your awareness is steady and solid and connected, and you are whole. And there's nothing to fix. There's nothing to do, but just rest in this space of truth, of knowing, with a conviction, with a power. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. You just know. And watch your life change. As you vibrate at this higher consciousness, everything in the world will have to shift and change because you're calling in the same vibration. So I just really encourage you to carry this softness with you this week and carry this intention for healing. Release the urge to judge when it comes up. It's okay. It's always going to come up. You're never going to get rid of it, but just watch it like a piece of art that you're really not interested in and just walk by. Just walk by it as it casts through the frame of your thoughts. Just keep walking. Go and find the painting that inspires you, the painting that speaks to you, the painting that uplifts you. Just let it pass by. And just release the belief that you have no power over these situations because you can keep walking. You don't have to buy into what you're telling yourself. You can choose another thought. And trust this process. Trust the universal process. Trust that the universe has your back. You don't have to figure this all out or know how it's going to happen. All you have to do is just set the intention and welcome forgiveness and sit in spaciousness and watch as you see anew. And when you're ready, you can bring your awareness back into your body. Anchor your golden Buddha self. Feel yourself anchored and strong and powerful. But within your human body, see yourself carrying this grounded presence for the rest of your week. And know that it is already done. It's already taken care of. When you set the intention and you make space, it's already done. Live in the space of already being healed. Live in the space of knowing that everything's working together for your highest good. And when you're ready, you can slowly, gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Namaste.